Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special reunion 2020 episode. What is that? That's when I had a guest on in the past, and I liked them so much I had to bring them right on back. So today's special return guest is Amy Lemire, who is president over at AIM Training and Consulting. Amy, welcome back to the show.
Hello, Adam. Thank you. It's great to be back.
So excited to get into what you're doing today, and also to catch up. And I know you're offering our listeners something and a assessment, and you're giving them that for the month of March. And maybe we can talk you into giving it to them for a little bit longer. So we'll get into that. But just to start off with, I don't want to assume that all of our new listeners caught your first episode. So let's just get into that. Let's talk a little bit more about what you're doing over at AIM Training and Consulting. Tell us a little bit more about your company, please.
Sure, Adam. So my company, AIM Training Consulting, what we do is we help people develop peak performance habits so that they can achieve outstanding results in their business, relationships, sales, happiness, and life.
And so so there's people listening right now. What you just now said, I mean, I love it. That's the elevator pitch. Who doesn't want any of those things that you just said? I want them all personally. So
right.
That being said, what's the right type of client? Like, what kind of clients do you like working with, just to make sure that the people listening know whether or not they're a good fit?
That's a great question, Adam. So the person that I typically work with is the person that their life is going great. They're not happy, they're not sad, but they feel like there is something more. There's something that's missing. They want to take their life up to the next level, but they're still trying to figure out what is that next level, what does it look like, and how do I get there? So I typically work with entrepreneurs, business owners, sales professionals, sales leaders, and speakers.
So where do you find, and I mean, I know this is going to change, by the way, from person to person. I also know, depending on what their position is, the way they think. I know there's a lot of variables here, but I do know that over time, with working with as many people as you have, that certain themes tend to arise in that niche that you like working with, so to speak, that kind of like looking to get to that next level. What do you find are some of those common themes that are holding people back?
What I typically find, Adam, and this is according to Inc. magazine, is that 70% of all people say that they are distracted. They're not distracted by other people or competition or stories or things from the past. They are distracted by their own thought habits and the patterns of thinking they have. And one question I often ask people is, are your thoughts supporting or sabotaging your success? So the person that I work with is somebody that is, again, doing great, but they are looking for one more thing to take them up one level, whether it's an income goal, a sales goal, or achieving something in their business, relationships, or personal happiness.
What would be, what's a typical, and I know this will vary too, but what's a normal, length of engagement? So if somebody's listening to this and they're like, oh, yeah, and you know what, I like what Amy's saying, it makes sense, it's connecting with me. How long do you normally work with clients? Is it a short-term engagement? Is it like a year? What is your normal kind of process? Give us some of that.
Sure. So the way I typically work with people is three ways. Some people like to work one-on-one with me for 6 months. Other people prefer to work with me in a small group, which is more of a group coaching setting, which would go about 4 months. And some people like to, let's just say, work with me virtually. They like to watch videos and they like to get educated, and then we check in with each other. So the shortest engagement I typically work is about 3 months, and the longest is 6 months. And some people sign up again, and then we work longer, but those would be the minimums that I would say.
Got it. And so let's change it up a bit. I mean, I got to know more about this. So the Thought Habit Finder assessment that you're offering to our listeners, tell me more.
Okay, sure. So the Thought Habit Finder assessment, it's similar to a survey that a lot of us has taken, for instance, a DISC profile, Strength Finders or the Myers-Briggs. So basically, it's an online assessment people take. It takes about 10 minutes. It's a matter of moving some words and phrases around, and then what happens after that is the person is going to get a report that's going to talk about their 6 key thought habit areas of their life. And then what I do, Adam, is after that, as I mentioned, and as you mentioned earlier on this call today, is that I'm giving people a gift. I'm doing the interpretation and the reading of that assessment as a complimentary gift for the next remainder of this month, and maybe I'll stretch it into April. If that's a request that people get, I'm sure I'll work with people. But what it does is it gives people an overview of their thoughts. I go through it with them, and then it helps people see if their thoughts are supporting or sabotaging their success. And we talk about a plan, whether it's to work together or if it's just getting the report, getting the results. There's no obligation.
What is in your experience on these calls? Because I know some of these, like sometimes these assessments can really shake people up. And what I mean by that is they don't really know when you see outside, when you take an assessment like this, it kind of gives you a whole different perspective or view on yourself that maybe you didn't have before.
Exactly. And what I typically find, Adam, is that people typically will look at the results and they will usually say to themselves, wow, that is pretty much what I thought it was going to be. And the good news is that the majority of the time, people actually have stronger and healthier thought habits than they think they do. So what I do is I let people know which of those habits are healthy, and I also let them see which ones might not be supporting their success. But the good news is, since I am a certified thought habit finder coach, I am equipped with tools, resources, and knowledge to help people succeed and to overcome those thought habits that might be stopping them from success. So it's all good news.
That is all good news. I mean, I love it. Every time I've ever taken one of these, I've the Myers-Briggs or the DISC or any of these, I swear every single time I came out and I just came, I always said, it was just one of those things where I feel like it added to my tool belt of things that I knew about myself, things I had to work on it. And it's just amazing that you're offering the opportunity for them to work with you to kind of interpret that, because I mean, while you can go online and do certain things, I mean, I feel like you do want somebody there that can interpret the results for you and give you another perspective on it. So I love that you're doing that. So Amy, if somebody is listening to this right now and they do want more information, or they want to take that thought habit finder, or to also contact you about talking about what you're doing over at AIM Training and Consulting, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Sure. So I will give my Habit Finder Coach website, and that is www.habitfindercoach, all one word, .com /A Lemire, and that's A for Amy, Lemire. If the person just wants to take a look at my website and learn more about me, my business website is www.aim, A-I-M, with WITHAMY.com.
Fantastic. Well, hey, Amy, it's been awesome having you back on this show for this reunion 2020 episode. Can't wait to have you back in 2021 to see what you have on the docket coming up for next year, and also how this year closed out. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Always happy when you do that. Without you, there is no show, so keep on listening. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Business, definitely give that a subscribe and leave us some comments in the video section. Love to hear what your thoughts were and what kind of things you're working on. And Amy, thanks again for coming back on the show.